Apologies, I've done it again. Thanks, Lynn, for letting me know. I've done it again. No sound. So annoying. I need to put a big sticker on my computer, don't I? Saying microphone, microphone. I did it because, well, you hear me moving around and stuff, don't you? And then forgot. So anyway, let's start again, shall we? So good evening. Sorry, sound now. Thanks, Lynn, for letting me know. It is monthly make Monday, so we are going to play with our monthly make stamps. We've got our gorgeous mushroom, and I've got a brand new journal. So that's what I'm going to play with tonight. Yep. And now we've got a sound, I hope. I should always check. So let's get going. Yep. Right, there you go. Right button. So I'm going to start off with some gamboge because I'm going to do... You all saw me lining this up a minute ago. I am so sorry. There should be sound now, Lynn. I hope on both of them. I think. Yeah, it's sorted now. I know I'm such a numpty at times. I was thinking about something. When I came in, I still had my stamps I was working on this morning on my desk, and I thought, oh, actually I want to try and do something else. No, we're concentrating on mushrooms right now. So I'm going to put my mushroom there. I'm going to do like a band of something, which I'm going to use my gamboge for. And then, yeah, we're going to go from there. We'll see. Now we've got a sound, we can all talk. I'm sorry. Doesn't take much, does it? I am a numpty. And Bear and Mr. Roo have just gone out to buy some jellies because he's run out of jelly. And we can't have a bear without jelly, and I'm going to probably run out of water because look, not got much there. Never mind. So yeah, Bear ran out to get some jelly as well. Right, so let's just check that brush is clean. It is. So I just want to do a quick swoosh. I was thinking I might use a poly plate, but no, I'm going to stick with our multi-make set. I know, very, very windy night tonight, isn't it? So I'm just going to do a swoosh of colour. Because you saw whereabouts my mushroom was going to go, and I love gamboge because it has so many different bits, colours to it. There we go. I think a little bit more towards my spine, I think. And I'm going to flick it out as well. So I am going to take my time tonight and slowly paint and slowly go through. So I'm just going to grab a bit more of the more concentrated Brusho so I get a darker colour going through, because I'm a bit happier with it now. And I'm also going to dry my brush out as I go to get more brush strokes. There we go. See, that's perfect, isn't it? Yeah, I'm liking that now. Evening, Mum. I think I said that before, didn't I? Sorry. See, I told you tonight I'm completely... what's the word? Kerfuddled. Evening, Sarah. No, Lynn, definitely not you tonight. It was me. Yeah, the user error was definitely this end. Oh, I'm gonna have one of them nights, I think. There we go. It's because I know the boys have been left unattended making jelly. No, it's not. They'll be fine. Lynn's sitting and eating and watching. Oh, very nice. Hope it's something nice. It was shepherd's pie, wasn't it, last week? I think. Right, so I've got a nice patch of colour. I'm going to move my scissors before I do myself some mischief. I'm going to dry this because I want to do a bit more, because that looks lovely as a background. Let me move that as well so you can see what we're doing. But I want to put a few of our like little mushrooms and things in there. So our words and our texture stamp. I want it to dry because I have absolutely saturated this piece of paper. Not card, it's paper. It can't be that windy because we have got aeroplanes overhead again. We didn't have them for a bit of the afternoon, so. Oh, look at this gorgeous colour. Evening, Sue. I want this nice and dry. Always feels really precious, doesn't it, when it's a new page in your journal? When you open a new journal, even. Because you want it to be perfect, that first page. Oh, I do. Fish and chips all in. That's what we have on a Tuesday. Fishy Tuesdays we have. It's one of the nights we all sit down together. So we have fish and chips. Fish and hash brown normally. Right, I am going to grab a little bit of, I either want tea dye or fossilised amber. I think it's my mummy tea dye I want. And it was looking at me, that must have been. And by using different mediums, so I've used Brusho, so we've got that lovely watercolour effect. Now if I put my Distress Oxide on it, it's going to really jump. And then I'm going to use some really crisp VersaFine, so you're getting different textures within your different layers of stamps, yeah? Which is why I jump around sometimes using different stuff. One, it's fun. Two, you don't always have the colour you want in the medium you're working in, so it's fine. And then I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm just going to. I've got quite a grain on this this paper. I didn't show you that a minute ago, did I? Slot that in there, which is why my stamp looks a bit bitty, but that's okay. Because if you look, I don't know if you can quite see, it's got a really nice tooth to the paper. There we go. So you can see why my stamp's not beautiful and crisp. It's because I've got a bit of tooth to my paper. Lynn's discovered some of the old monthly makes on the website. Yep, it should all be there. And I did actually put an inspiration page together because I know I'm not always brilliant at sharing all the makes, so I've republished the monthly make page for inspiration, and it should have a link to all the videos and the inspiration. I've only put November's on there at the moment, but I will slowly go back over time and put them all on there, but it's a bit of a big job. So when I've got 5 minutes, I'll sit and do a little bit. So you can see we're getting some gorgeous texture looking bits there. Make sure I get my mushroom the right way. There's nothing wrong, there's nothing worse than an upside down mushroom, is there? Because that's going to go there. See, we're starting to get our lovely, lovely shrooms back down there. And then I'm going to grab our mushroom, but I know I'm getting the I wants. It's only 1/4 and I've got the I wants already. Oof. I want my, where is it? I can't see for looking. There it is, Vintage Sleeper. They really need to make the writing a bit bigger so I don't have to squint as much to see it. It's a long way away over there. So I'm going to just start with my mushroom, and I'm going to create a panel. So I've got my panel of colour, and I'm just going to do exactly the same with, I had a really horrid thought then that I'd put that the wrong way around, and you can see I'd already made a whoopsie. There you go. There you go. It's so much better. If you've got a long wiggly stamp like this one, pop it on your table. I know I say it every time. Pop it on your table and pick it up, because the stamp will go to the shape it wants to be. Yeah? Whereas when you put it on the stamp, no matter how good you are going to wiggle it a bit. You're going to make it move a bit. So if you let the stamp rest, it'll be nice and straight. And then go along and pop your stamp base on the back of it. You can see all I'm doing is just stamping this mushroom in the background. I think Mum did one of these on one of her cards as the background, and it looked really, really effective. So just inking up. I'm not spending loads of time inking it up because it's my background. We've got that gorgeous texture coming through as well from our paper. There we go. I'm going to ink this one last time, I think, or I might do two. Can't decide. I've got into a bit of a pattern doing two, so I'm going to pop it down here. You know me, I don't like patterns, I like random. So I'm going to stamp it again, is what I'm trying to say. There we go. I'm just going to ink it up one more time, maybe two. No, one more. One more. Lynn's asking what journal I've got. It's just one of the Arteza ones. You know I love those ones. It's really because it's got that spine that we all know how to take apart. So that if I do something I really, really like, I can take it out of my journal. If I do something I really, really don't like, same applies. I can grab it out of my journal. And nobody will be none the wiser, apart from me. Yeah, so for me, it's all about having that gorgeous wire-bound spine that I can take apart. I can decorate my front pages. I can do whatever I want. I can change my pages around if I wanted to. It just gives me that flexibility on that hinge, spine, hinge, that bit, to do what I want. Check that out, that's working really well, isn't it? Right, I'm half tempted. I think what I'm going to do is stamp it, and then I'm going to put some of those letters behind as well, I think. I don't mind this coming through, but I do mind the big letters coming through. So I'm going to stamp this now, I think. Am I going to be brave and do it on top of my journal, or am I going to do it properly? I think I'm going to do it properly. Because if you look, my journal's quite thick and the paper's quite thick. So when I press with my stamp, it's going to squish. Ooh, that's a really bad shot, sorry. It's going to squish, yeah? And if you feel it, there isn't that much of a squish, but it might be enough that means I don't get a nice crisp image that I'm looking for. So because I've got a spine, you saw me before, when I had no words, when I was in silent movies, just making sure I was happy with where my stamp was on my base, because I'm going to come and stamp that in a minute. There we go, I think that's it. Give that a real good ink up. So I'm using the big one again. I know I keep using this big mushroom, don't I? I do like it. And he's so much fun to paint. Evening, Chris. There we go. So I'm going to turn it around. I've not made it that easy for me to hold my stamp base because I've got my mushrooms. Right, splat time. There we go. I can sit hovering with it for ages, but sometimes you just need to go, right, that's it, splat it. And now you can tell, oh, I've got some post-it notes there, nice. I'm just giving it a bit of an extra press because I've got Distress Oxides, I've got a lot of grain to this paper, card. It's more of a cartridge paper. There you go. We've got our gorgeous mushrooms. He's not really standing out as much as I was wanting him to. So I think I might stamp him on a piece of card and paint him on there. I was wanting a nice flat page though. Oh, decisions. Decisions are tough, aren't they? So I'm shouting at myself, aren't I? Yeah. I did say it was going to be one of them nights. I forgot sound. I can't remember what else I've messed up on tonight. It's close. I think... Do I want to stamp that? I've just made that a bit too... I love it, but it's a bit too intense, isn't it? So... I'm going to grab a piece of white card. Sorry, Mr. Journal, you're moving to the side for now. I know, it's all about you tonight, and you're being put to the side. You'll be back in a minute though, or two, or a bit longer than that. Depends how long it takes me to paint. See if this piece is big enough. There we go. So we're going to paint this again. I know, keep rolling my sleeves up. Yep, perfect size. And it means we can go to town then with our little letters behind, can't we? Well, it says it's called Wiro Bound, I think it is. Wiro, yeah, Wiro Bound, not Spiral Bound. Because they're the two, aren't they? You either get Spiral, which is the curly whirly one that goes all the way through your book. You don't want to be taking one of them apart, believe me. Been there, tried it. Whew. Didn't have the patience for it. Wiro Bound, you just pull it apart, do what you need to do and stick it back together. So much easier. And it is a really good one for making Christmas presents out of. We always do. I think Bear will be doing one for his teacher again this year, I think. He hasn't quite decided what he's doing yet. He wants to make some bunting on the sewing machine. We might make a notebook because they are a really nice gift to give. And I know he wants to make some baskets again as well. So I'm just going to make sure this is dry because I'm going to be putting wet on it. Yep. So I'm going to be working with my Brusho and I'm actually going to have it really, really wet. So I just want to make sure it's nice and dry because I don't want it bleeding. So the colours we're using, I'm pretty sure you won't notice the black ink if it bleeds. You could, if you want to, use your embossing powders and then it gives you a bit of a ridge. So if you're worried about going over the lines and stuff, embossing powders are brilliant because you just basically flood the area and then start to add your colour in. Brilliant way to do it. But I'd had to have thought about that before and I didn't. So I've got my little mushroom there. I do argue with myself, don't I? I'm going to use a bit of burnt sienna because that is a gorgeous mushroomy colour. I want a bit of an orange, not gamboge. Gamboge isn't good for this one. I want a nice dark colour. Don't want green and I don't want pink. So where's my moss green? I'll have a bit of that one, a bit of that. Should we have a bright red mushroom as well? I think so. I know I don't normally use red, but mushrooms, definitely. And I'm just looking at my colours. You can't see them, can you? There you go, that's better. So I've got moss green for me, my legs and my gills, wasn't it, Lynn? Pretty sure they were called gills. And then we've got burnt sienna, a bit of scarlet, and I'm going to try sandstone or orange. I think it might be sandstone we want. So, get myself comfy again. I'm going to start with the stalks because it's a very good place to start. Gets you warmed up. That brush looks disgustingly dirty. Might not be. You never know. Could be. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It is now because I put gambos in it off my tissue. Right. So I'm going to use a little bit of moss green because this has got like yellows and greens and browns in it. That'll be a perfect colour. Oh, come on, Mr. Spritzer. I know I've let you run right down to the bottom. And I did say I'd fill you up earlier and I forgot. I'm just getting a little bit of this one. See, look at all those colours. It's got blue in it as well. I've put a big patch of blue. Don't really want that on my stalk just yet. Stuck in my brush now. There we go. So let's start with this one. So I'm going to put a very, very watery, light colour on to begin with. So I'm going to do it all at the same time. Yep. So I'm going to do all that bit and coming down. I'm going to come down as well. And don't forget, if you've not got Brusho, don't worry. You could use your distress inks, your oxides, anything like that. Just concentrate on your desk and just go the same way. So start with it really watery. And then, can you see I'm just grabbing a teensy tiny little bit. And I'm going to start putting it where it'll be a bit darker. But it's still really watery. It's nowhere near the intensity it can go to. And I'm going to start adding a bit near my gills. I don't know if you heard that, someone's got a horn outside. Must have got it for their birthday. There we go, and we're just going to go back in. That bit was nearly neat, I would say. Just coming around there. Just going back in there. Right, so I've got one done. Yep, so I'm going to start exactly the same. And then we're going to go really, really slowly again. So it's more like a colour wash, this, like what we did in our background. And then pull it down the stalk. And the best thing about this is it's got loads and loads of lines going on. So you don't actually, well, who knows which line you were trying to stay in. Just saying. Start pulling it down again. And then again, I'm just going to start dabbing and bringing it down. I never get a really nice bit on my brush. I might go and share it with that one. Especially with Brusho, because you've got so many different colours that you'll just hit. Like now I'm getting some browns in this bit, so I'm going to go and pop a little bit of that there and there. But how cute's that looking? So again, I'm going to start my last one. It's only a tiddler, this one. So I want some really, really watery stuff. You can see it's puddling. Yeah, when I move my paintbrush, it's puddling. It's that wet. You could colour them any colour you want, couldn't you, Lynn? Could do that, actually. Ooh, you can see how much I puddle that one, can't you? Come back and add a bit in here. My paintbrush was too wet there. So I'm just rolling in a little bit of tissue. Because what you'll find is it's probably not wet down here. The water's stored up here. So when I roll my paintbrush, if I roll the top of my paintbrush, it takes the majority of my water out. So now when I come back and get my drier stuff, it doesn't come flooding down my paintbrush There we go. And I'm quite happy with that. And I'm really loving that green. If I hold it up there, loving those little stalks. So one, I need to dry that before I hit it with any other colour. But I've got this patch of Brusho going on my desk. So we're going to grab our little journal. The other side of my page is this flat. But I like the texture. Because that's the other thing, I might want to turn my pages around, mightn't I? So I'm just going to grab some of this. You can see it goes into a right dirty green. Moss green. It says in the name, isn't it, really? And all I'm doing is if I pop some in the background. I did see clean and elegant tonight. You knew that wasn't going to happen, didn't you, really? Actually, let's dry it before I do anything else. You knew if I left that like that, it looks mouldy on the paper now. It's alright, we'll do it with all the colours so we can hide it. There we go. I think I'm happy with that. Again, you go into the side, mister. Thank you very much. And I think I'm going to get rid of my green. Do I want to get rid of my green? No, I'm going to leave it there for now. I do want to dry this though. So I think this one's going to be burnt sienna, a really rich, deep red. Well, off red. Aged mahogany, reddish. Red with really dark bits. Burgundy, that's the word I was looking for, burgundy. Or mahogany. And the reason I'm drying it, normally I just keep painting, but I kind of want it to look pretty neat. So if I dry between each of my colours, yeah, they're not going to bleed into each other because it is a bit soggy and a bit, you know, and it's me and I'm using red and that never goes well. So a little bit of burnt sienna. Oh, come on, Mr. Water Bottle, you can do it. There we go. We're rationing water here. There we go. And again, I'm just going to make it really, really watery to start with. Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful colour? And I'm just going to take some of that water out the top of my brush. I'm just going to come in. Again, I'm going to move this around to make it easier for me to paint. Well, I don't know if you can really call this painting, can you? There we go. And I'm just trying to get that colour washing. Can you see I had a bit of a line going on there? So I'm just going over it again, and so I'm happy. And then I'm going to start going where it's a bit darker. Ooh, nah, that's too much of a jump into it. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to grab a bit more water on my brush and I'm going to just move it around. Because eventually we'll get to that colour, but we're not quite at that colour yet. I must have still had some green in my brush because it's a bit greeny, which is working really well. But yeah, so let's go and grab some of this. A little bit more. There we go. Just going a bit darker. See, I told you we'd get to that really dark colour, but I wanted to get to it. I didn't want to start with it, if that makes sense. There we go. Just going to dry that one because I've got it quite wet again. Such a deep red colour. There we go. And then I'm going to do my sandstone, I think, next. We will do some splatting as well, because it's only fair. We've done one colour, haven't we? With the splats, we'll do our others. So I've got my sandstone. I'm hoping this will be my nice little bridge between my red and my backgrounds. So again, just go in really gently. Look at that. Yep, so who wants to be this one? I think this one's going to be this colour. So again, I'm just adding a really wet base to it. Slopping my colour on. You can hardly see that first layer, can you? And then we're just going to start adding to it. So I don't want to go straight to me. Oh look, that's gone a bit dark, isn't it? That's okay, we can work with it. I'm going to get it kind of where I want it. I'm just going to grab a little bit of water and then we can go and sort it out. Just like that. See, no one would know I'd made a bit of a boo-boo there. I'll come in and look at that deep brown. Oof. There we go. And again, just very gently around the edge. And there. Oops, a daisy. There we go. And then finally, some of that paint on my brush. We're going to go for red. Now this is where it could all go very, very wrong, because me and bright red never really go together. I'll make a bit of a crime scene out of it. Oh. I think we should do some funny coloured ones, shouldn't we, one day? And put some googly eyes on them, maybe. Right, I'm not drying it fully, I'm just drying it to a point where it's not moving. Well, it's kind of touch dry. It feels moist, my paper. Chris says I have a good eye for colour. Oh, I wouldn't say that, I just wing it most of the time. To be fair, I was going to go for the orange, but I think, because that's got a little bit of the brown in it, I think it'll match my background better. Orange might have been a bit too bright. Because it is like an orange, it's not a... Yeah. It's like that lemon colour, you know, the one that's like neon. I didn't want that. Because at the end of the day, I want it to mask in with my background. See, this is what gets me really, really nervous, playing with red. So whenever I see anybody using red, like on ATCs or the cards or anything that you share, it's like, oh, I'm so proud of you. I'm well, jealous most of the time because you've got red working. I can't get red working. There we go again. You will notice I didn't quite wash my brush out fully from that orange, so it's kind of toned my red down a little bit, but that's okay. I'm not trying for crime scene here, I'm trying to be good. Again, I'm starting to really flood it, so I'm just going to take some of that moisture out of my brush and come back in again. And now I'm going to the raw stuff. Whoa, look at that. But it's doing all the work for me because it's so wet. It has bled a little bit though, so I'll need to sort that out in a second. I'm actually going to go back and just pick up a little bit of our... There we go. If you notice just that little speck of the burnt sienna. I think that's what it was called, yeah, burnt sienna. Just tones that red down a little tiny bit. Right, I'm quite happy with that. I'm not going to faff with the red because I told you before it scares me. And I've managed to make it bleed, which is where if you were using like your embossing powders and things, you'd be able to let it go a bit more. You probably can't tell that it's gone over the line, but I can. And I can see it really bad from here. Tell you what I don't like though. Look at that. What a lazy girl. If you're going to paint something, at least paint to the edge. There we go, that's better. Just stop. just stopped. Didn't like it. So now I do want this pretty dry. It's not come through, I thought it would have done, to be honest. And if I'd have really thought about it, I should have used my watercolour card, but got a Miss Impatient pants here. Oh, look at those colours. Don't they look like 3 little happy mushrooms going off on a wander? Off to see the fairies and the elves. So, this is a catch-22. I want to do some little bits of white, and I want to fix my little problems that I've got going on here. Ah, that's hot. Just knock back where I've gone over my line a bit, especially here. Yeah, thanks Mum. I think they were a good choice in the end. The orange would, I think, would have just been a bit too much. We're going for like woodland kind of look here this time. I'm going to come back down on here. Now the nice thing is I'm using my gel pen, so what it does is when it hits the Brusho it reactivates it because it's wet. Yeah, so it's not taking it, so can you see here, it's not taking it to white, it's going to a very pale red. I can't really show you that, can I? No. It does. It picks up the Brusho, it reactivates it, because any moisture will reactivate your Brusho, and then it just comes back. So I'm just layering that little white on there. Then we're going to do a bit more with that in a second, but before that I'm going to grab my pencil, and I know I'm running a risk, I've got wet Brusho. Feeling very brave. Wet Brusho out on my desk. Oof. It's going to add a little bit more to these guys. And I'm doing it now so that I know in a minute when I come to cut it out. Where I want to cut. I realised I left you hanging there mid-sentence, didn't I? There we go. Again, keep moving everything around, making sure I don't pop it into that big pot of lovely Brusho goo on my desk. And I'm also cheating here, because by adding my little bits, yeah, by just adding that little bit of shading underneath, it's meaning I haven't got the space now to go in and cut these bits out. Shame that, isn't it? Yeah, so I don't have to do as much fussy cutting, in other words. I know I'm a cheat. And it's not difficult fussy cutting. I could do it. I mean, I could do it. I'm not going to, but I could. A little bit more in. Yeah, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to stop faffing with that as much. And then I am obsessed with putting dots on my mushrooms, aren't I? I'm going to see if I can do it different tonight, because I did this last week and I did white dots on them. I know I did. So instead I'm going to take Hello, you've gone a bit fuzzy now. You're not coming back. What's it you don't like? There we go, he's back. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the very end of my little splatter strip, or whatever we're going to call it. Ooh. I could use my black gel pen, but where's the fun in that? I could get all inky doing it this way instead. And I'm just going to add, this is either going to be really cool or it's going to make a mess of it, so maybe should have done it in brown though. So I'm just using the very edge. I have a few on here as well. Thank you. A few more. Might even try and link it up. There we go. I'm going a bit overboard now. I might have to take the splatter stamp away from me. There we go. Don't put the edge of your paper in the ink. Oops, I missed the end completely there. There we go. Just going to add a few little more just there and there. Right. Just going to dry that because I am going to hit it with my gel pen again. Before I do that, let me get the black ink off that stamp. Now normally my texture stamps I would normally only use colour on, which is why if I get ink, black ink on them, it's like, right, I need to get it off. There you go, clean-ish, that will do. Let's give this a bit of a clean. Should I have done that in brown? Maybe. Maybe. Dry enough. Just realised I'm drying the brush on my desk as well. And now I'm just going to give our little toadstools or mushrooms okay. See, I did have little dots drawn on them and I thought no, because I want to make them look more realistic, so you can paint them, you can either go in and doodle in them or you could go and make them look more realistic, and every time I do them I end up putting my dots back in, don't I? But it's giving you guys the option. We should do a doodle one, shouldn't we? That'd be cool. Right, I think I'm happy with this now. Move you over there. And then, I've got floaters though. They're all floating. I'm going to cut it out and then see what we want to do about them floating. They won't do, will they though? Because they'll be on the... So I'm giving myself a bit of a border. I might as well now because we've cut it out, haven't we? We've cut it out. We've put it onto a different colour card, which is going to make it stand out from the background. So you might as well make it stand out completely by giving it a right border when you... And then it's still, what do I do with the bottom? Oops. So I think, ooh, decisions. I just chopped it off. I'm not good at making decisions some days. Right, so we've got our gorgeous little trio. Grab my journal back. Make myself some more space because you know what I'm like. I've moved myself into the smallest part possible. They are going to go like so. How cool does that look? Totally the right decision to cut them out. Doesn't it? Absolutely right decision there. We are going to grab some of this gorgeous stuff that we've got on our desk. Could see that moment. I was like, yeah, excited now. Give them all a little bit more of that. So I'm going to start with my paler out of the 3, which wasn't burnt sienna, was it? Might have been burnt sienna. No, sandstone. I'm not even keeping track of what colours I've used tonight. There we go. There's that one. I'm going to go to the red next, I think. I know, I've not cleared my brush in between. Ooh, look at that red popping. Ooh. There we go. I'm just going to have a teeny tiny bit. Oh, look at that. Gorgeous. Go get this dry because you can see they're just going poop. I want to keep that red because I want on my circles in a stamp in a minute. I want to use that gorgeous bright red. I'm also tempted to get our little harlequin in there. Ooh. I think I might. Choosing the right colours though now. It's got tricky. So mushrooms are gorgeous. I thought I'd lost them, then you can tell, couldn't you? You can go like that. I can stop drying now, can't I? I don't want many of these. I don't. But I do want some of it down here. So, and I do want my circles. I know, I've got the right eye once. I've got it in my brain what I want, haven't I? But it's not quite there yet. And because I've used mushroom, I'm going to use the mushroom one. I did get asked for winter and Christmas on this one. They are nearly there. Nearly there. And the beauty of my really mucky stamps, well, you can see, can't you? I can position them so I can see how it's going to look almost. This I want in like a dirty, ready. Right, I'm going to go with, I'm loving this, which is like aged mahogany, isn't it? If I used an oxide, I'm not sure. I think it might distract us because we've got a lot of watercolour going on yet. We've got our, I've got it in the background. Yeah, I'm going to go with oxide actually. I was going to say I'm going to use my Distress ink, but I think we'll get away with it because we've used it in the background. So, aged mahogany, there you are. That's not like me to be able to pick a colour straight away. So I'm just going to do a couple of them going up the back, which then means when I stamp this in black, it's going to pop into it. And I'm going to do a couple. Nah, that's why I wanted to do it in You can tell I'm thinking. I've got my thinking fingers on. Does anyone else do that when they're thinking? My fingers wiggle. You can always tell what I'm doing. I'm very conscious of it. Thinking fingers. Right, so I'm going to go with my Asian mahogany actually. I am. I need to clean my paintbrush. I need to clean that off my desk as well. I'm not yet though. Pop that down there. Pop you there nice and safe. Oh, I've just lost everybody's comments there. I'll be back. There we go. I'm back now. Right, so I am going to go with my Age Mahogany. I said I wasn't going to, but I am. It's tough. And I'm not really bothered if this stamps well or not, because it's my background. That gorgeous Age Mahogany. It's not quite as rich as what we've got going on here, but it is still beautiful. And I don't want to go overboard with this. Because at the moment it stands out like a sore thumb, doesn't it? And you're going, oh, you've made the wrong choice there colour wise. And I'd have to agree with you. However, when I bring back in our little shrooms in a minute, that's going to be alright. Yeah, it ties that bit to that bit. I know I've splattered, but those two colours work well together. I'm also just going to put my book that way so I don't start making a mess on my pages behind, because I have made myself a little tiny corner that I'm working in now. And all I'm going to do is find my sentiment. No, that's definitely not from this stamp set. I thought it was. That's from the Christmas stuff. I don't know where my sentiment's gone. Rude, it was on my desk. Oh, there's one. I will put them back together properly at some point, my stamp set. So I'm thinking we'll pop that there. Or is that going to be too much? I think it might be too much, mightn't it, if I do? Yeah, I'm not going to do it. Ignore me. Ignore that. Let me just get that oxide off my stamp. I'm just going to stamp straight onto there. There you go. I was going to do it as a background. Not. It just does not look right at all. There we go. So, what I am going to do then is stamp this one. So we're going to have him there right at the front. So these are going to be behind my mushrooms. And I'm very conscious I've left myself a little border around my mushrooms. Now I am stamping on top of everything because it's my background. I know I'm stamping it in black, but there's enough of a border between my mushrooms that I've cut out and my background for it not to matter. Just gonna find. I'm gonna pop that on there and create a really quick little mask. A rough and ready circle. We've been back and forth with this one tonight. We did the background, then we did our mushrooms, and we've come back to our background, and then we're going to the other. Oh, night, Chris. I know I've been flipping and flopping around, haven't I? Whoop. Oops a daisy. There we go. Right, I've got myself a nice little mask. I'm going to pop that in the background. Don't really matter too much about it lining up. Oh, can you hear the rain coming? And then I'm going to pop just another little 2 around. I'm just moving it to the edge of my stamping block so I can get in closer into that spine. If I need to. I might not need to. We're going to grab this one and he's just going to be poking out just like that. And then this one, because I like 3s, you know me rules. It's 1 or 3, not 2. Not that 2's a naughty number, it's just 2 makes you look. Whereas 3, your eye's not quite sure what it's meant to be looking at. I'm trying to play with it so I've not got all my muzz the same way. So it looks like they've just been dropped on there. And I've not sat here for ages thinking about what I'm going to do. They go, oh, it looks disgusting, doesn't it now? It'll be fine. Just going to give it a quick dry. Doesn't look good now, does it? Got too much going on. In a minute we will get it looking like we want it again. So what I'm banking on here is I've got layer of Brusho, layer of Distress Oxide, both of which when I whack it with colour, when I whack it with water again in a minute, it's going to start moving, it's going to start reacting to the colour I put on top of it. Yeah, so I am banking on that fact. If it doesn't, I'll be not impressed, but oh, come on, I know, I'll take you with me and fill you up later. To be fair, I could just leave you stood outside in the rain and you'd get filled up. There we go. Right, so I'm going to come and grab some of this lovely stuff because it's darker than my gamboge. Yeah, and I'm just going to whap my background a bit with it, but only in my circles. Yep, so you can see that Distress Oxide moving. We can see not worrying too much about how good I'm painting. It's activating that Distress Oxide, so we're getting bits of the chalk showing. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go a little bit darker just around here. I need to pick up a bit of water because it's just sucking it in. It's like a sponge, which is good because it means it's going to hold my colour. Not so good when I want it to be moving at the same time. So I'm just going to do a little bit down this side. Right. Yep, happy with that. And then you see how we've got our numbers on our letters. That sounds really odd, doesn't it? And I'm using my same colours, so all that does is it keeps our foreground and our background talking to each other. Needed a bit more water with that. So again, just adding this really gorgeous red. We're just having a bit of raw on there as well, just to give it a bit more of an intense colour, but that's me being really picky. If I pick that back up, let me pop that over, check that out. Yeah, I'm just going to give this a quick dry, probably get rid of that Brusho now. I did throw a lot of water at it there. Oops. nearly dry. So I got my pencil in. Where did I put you? I left it out. I must have known I was going to go back to it. Having too much fun to tidy up, but I will tidy up in a minute. Just going to add a little bit in under here and here. Just bear in mind we don't have to do everything because we've got these mushrooms jumping over the top of it. I'm just going to add a little bit around our numbers too. Yeah, Mum's just got the rain as well. To be fair, it stopped. We've not really had the rain today, we've had more of the wind. The wind's been wild. I kind of jinxed myself because I said to Mr. Roo, it's like, no, we've not had the wind they were saying, and then all of a sudden it was like, just, yeah, it heard me. Pop anything there, just do a couple me too. I go, right, I'm not going to faff, she says, while she's clearly faffing. I do love those little letters. Right. I'm thinking glossy accents. Oh. Then that's going to make my background stand out more than my foreground, and I really don't want that to happen. Do I? No. How cute's that? I do want some gloss. No, I don't. No. Stop it, girl. You've done way more than you thought you were going to on this as it was. I was going for elegant tonight, and I've ended up with, well, I've ended up grungy again, haven't I? Didn't mean to. Really didn't mean to. I need to stamp this sentiment on, and then I think we're done. I just need to glue that page down. I need to clean that paintbrush too, so don't pop it back in my tub. Just gonna grab my black. I do love these mushrooms though. I know I shouldn't have favourite stamps, but you know, these guys are amazing. Are amazing mushrooms. All I'm going to do is just pop "Nature is pleased with simplicity" right there. I think I've just moved it. Whoopsie. Oh, I didn't. That was lucky. That wasn't through skill, that was just luck. It didn't move as I did it. It does want some glossy accents on it. I know. It does. See if it's still got my wonky one, it's still open or not. Then we'll just quickly stick it down. If I can get my glossy accents too. Ow, ow, ow. It's because my good glossy accents is in the house. I know exactly where it is. Little lady was using it to do some beady things the other day. Right. Ooh. I'm going to use it to glue this down first because it does make an amazing glue. We will glue this in place. You've got that gorgeous border going on behind it. That little white border going around really makes our little mushrooms pop off. I'm going to come in and I'm just going to, that was a big one. Didn't mean to do that. Just going to add a few more little dots in there. What is going on? Oh, it's because I've got a hole on that side of my glue. Right, this is going to be interesting. pop a little bit under there because he's going for a bit of a ride. And then do I know I want to. No. No. I'm going to be a good girl. I was just going to put a little bit on then. I'm not. Be a good girl. But there you go. We've made a rather not so simple and elegant mushroom journal page. There you go. How cool is that? I'm not going to put it anywhere near my Brusho because I have made a bit of a mess with my Brusho on my desk. But it's super cute, isn't it? Got our little shrooms, we've got our mousse in the background. We used our splatter, we've used our Harlequin one. I love that. So much fun. It is easy to paint those mushrooms. They are easy to paint. So I had so much fun doing that. You can tell, can't you? It's like, nope, not finished yet, not finished yet. We've finished. And I'm so pleased that we cut it out as well. Because that little border just, yeah, it does exactly what we needed to do. And I don't think the colours would have sat as neatly as what they've done on the card in my journal. So, thank you all. That is it for me tonight. We'll be back on Wednesday. What have I got for you on Wednesday? Well, I can show you some of the Christmas stuff, and it's kind of Christmas related ish. We've got a gift idea for Christmas, so I'll show you that as well. Not sure what we'll make, but I'm sure we'll find something. Have a bit of fun. So that is me again on Wednesday at 10:30. I hope you can join me then. Thank you for joining me. I've just seen the time. I'm sorry I've kept you so long tonight, but I got painting, I got doodling, and I think that's what we need to do next week with our mushrooms, isn't it? Doodling them and see what we can create then. So yeah, back Wednesday 10:30 Wednesday morning. Yeah, not sure what we're doing, but it'll be something. So do hope you can join me then. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you all again very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.